Hello, welcome back to Noble Flowers. I'm
Hello.
Phaedra, and this is Moroni. And it has been raining for what feels like weeks. Has it been weeks?
It has been weeks.
It's been weeks. And it's getting miserable and it's getting very hard to do stuff. But we were very, very lucky that we lifted the dahlias before the rain really set in. So that's what we're going to work on in today's video. We've got some tubers, we're going to divide them for you, show you how we store them, and that's about it. We're back. So this is how Moroni is washing the tubers. He has a big bucket of water. It's getting a bit dirty now because he's washed a whole heap. And he's just kind of dunking it in there.
Yeah. Just to remove the excess. And go like this.
It's less wetness and mess, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's one of our tubers. But it's a nice one. We don't know what this one's called. It's one of the ones that our friend gave us. So Moroni's going to divide that up. There are two ways to store. You can just store that.
Like this?
Yep, you can just store it like that into sawdust. What are we doing? Oh, you can store it like this straight into sawdust and then divide in the spring when you can see the eyes really clearly. For us, that just takes up so much room and we're not really that well set up to have a really big storage space for it. So we're going to divide all of ours now and just risk losing some tubers. If you let them sit in their clumps like that, you still could lose some anyway because of rot. So either way, whatever works better for you. Show them this. People will be so interested. Okay.
Well, I'm going to start by pouring a little bit of the salt. Obviously not too close, just like about, what was that, like 1 inch?
Yeah. Except we talk in centimetres in Australia.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, well, let me just show you. So the parts of the tuber are, so there's the tuber, its neck, this is the crown, and that's where the eyes are going to grow. So when you're splitting your clump, it has to include some of the crown. And sometimes you can see little eyes where they're going to pop out, but it's very hard to tell when they're, you know, they're dormant and they're not
Developed.
Yeah, so we're just going to risk it for the biscuit, really, aren't we? Because we've got lots of them.
Yeah, well, we try to get the most kind of crown tissue on the bigger bulbs. That's the one that we wanted to have the more crown. Oh, because this one is kind of fusion.
Moroni is getting very fast at this now.
Rock.
Oh, there was a rock in there. It sucks that we can't just store them. Oh, that one's snapped. Look. And that one's snapped. No point keeping them.
Okay.
It sucks a little bit that we can't store it as the tuber, but like I said before, we don't have the space really to store, you know, that huge amount of tubers in their clumps, and also we would run very high risk of them getting moldy because the air wouldn't get in it and there's mud stuck between it. So Moroni's working away on it. I'm going to show you how we store our tubers in cardboard trays with sawdust. We just get these cardboard trays from produce store, line it with some paper and put there's just a thin layer of wood chips there. You can use wood chips, sawdust, whatever you can get your hands on. We get ours free from our local furniture maker. He just puts massive bags of it outside, and when there's one there, we grab it. So these, as I mentioned earlier, we don't know what that clump of tubers was. It was a gift from a friend, so it wasn't labelled. So I've just, all of the tubers from that one clump, I've just put a number 1 on with a Sharpie. Where is it? Here. And then the next clump, I'll put a number 2. So at least we know that they're all the same. Whatever variety that was, that they're all the same. So Moroni's going to keep working away. I will label and pack, and we will get the job done. Ta-da! So that's our tray done. And then you want to cover it with your wood chips or whatever it is again. I'm only going to show you a little bit of covering it because I want to keep these ones out for a bit longer. Let them dry out before I cover them up. But you just put a covering of wood chips over it again and another piece of paper. And that's it. And then we will stack the next box on top. And we'll just keep doing that until they're all done. So we're going to leave you there. That's how we cut and store our dahlias. It is a little bit of sort of trial and error, isn't it?
No, it's all right.
And that's why we haven't kind of given you a specific tutorial about cutting. You're just trying to cut it and leave a bit of the crown on. So do that however it works for you. But every clump is going to be different. I've got another video on the channel where we spoke to the Dahlia expert at the Botanical Gardens in Ballarat. And he was just, one of the things he says is you really do want to lift your tubers, divide them and replant them in the spring. Otherwise you're going to risk growing too much foliage and not enough flowers, because I know it's really tempting to just leave them in the ground and not have to do all this work. But you may not get all those beautiful blooms.
That's true.
And one more thing I just want to leave you with. I'm going to leave you with some footage of the same flower that I ended one of my previous videos. A few people asked what it was. It's a tree dahlia, and they're beautiful and they grow very, very tall. And they just seem to have grown in abundance in this area this year. So we've got some cuttings lined up. We're going to get some in ready for next year. And here's some more footage of one that I found just in our little town, Yakandanda. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.